Shalom and Blessings, children of Yahuah and the Truth. We are going to be starting part 8 of the action Besorah, Yahuah's redemptive story. The end of an era, based on Genesis or Bereshith 48 through 50. For 17 years, Yaakov and his sons lived happily in Mitzrayim or Egypt. Then one day a messenger brings sad news to Yosef. Sir, your father is very ill. He wants you and your sons to come right away. They hurry to Yaakov's bedside. Bring your sons to me so I can bless them before I die. May Yahuah, who has guided me all of my life, bless my grandsons. Because of the wickedness of his older sons, Yaakov gives the family birthright to Yosef and his sons. Remembering how he was the youngest, Yaakov crosses his arms when he blesses Manasseh and Ephraim. This gives the larger share of the birthright to the younger Ephraim. Then Yaakov calls all of his sons to him and blesses them. Yaakov dies, and his sons carry the old chieftain's body back to his homeland of Canaan. After Yaakov's funeral, Yosef walks away from the camp alone. His brothers watch him in his grief. Even after all these years, Yosef was the closest to our father, and we have no way to comfort him. Get it as close as possible so you guys can see. Okay. Whoa, Bella, you're gonna fall. Yosef, you are the head of our tribe now. We will be your slaves if you wish it. No, you did evil, but Yahuah used it for good. For years the sons of Yaakov live happily in Egypt or Mitzrayim. Yahuah has been good to us, more than we deserve. As long as I live, I'll thank Yahuah and seek his forgiveness. When Yosef is very old, he calls his relatives to see him. Yahuah will bring you out of this land to the land he gave to Abraham, to Yitzchak, and to Yaakov. When you return, take my body with you. I want to be buried in the land of my fathers. Soon after this, Yosef dies. All of Egypt or Mitzrayim mourns Yosef's death. But as new rulers come to the throne, they forget how Yosef and his Elohim saved Egypt or Mitzrayim. They only notice how large the tribe of Hebrews has become. Baby in a basket, based on Exodus 1:1 to 2:10. The new Pharaoh in Egypt or Mitzrayim has forgotten that the Hebrews' ancestor Yosef saved Egypt or Mitzrayim from the famine. From his royal yacht on the Nile, the king frowns as he watches the Hebrew shepherds with their rich flocks. There are too many Hebrews in Egypt or Mitzrayim. If we had a war, they might turn against us. I might find a way to keep them from causing trouble. The next day, the king... Okay, 1 second, guys. Okay, I apologize. The next day, the king inspects a new building project. We need thousands more workers to get this job done. This sounds like a perfect job for the Hebrews. They will work as slaves. It will save us money, and then those foreigners won't be able to cause trouble. So from daylight to dark, Hebrew men and boys are driven from their homes and forced to work under whip-cracking slave drivers. This is very dangerous. You gotta eat. But with Yahuah's blessing, the Hebrews flourish and grow stronger even under the harsh conditions. We work them harder every day, but there are more Hebrews than before. The king will not be happy about this. When Pharaoh hears the report, he calls for the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah. As you help the Hebrew women give birth, I want you to kill every boy that is born, but let the girls live. The midwives fear Yahuah and do not follow Pharaoh's orders. This is against Elohim. This is against Yahuah. We cannot do this. Pharaoh discovers the midwives are not killing the baby boys and becomes angry. Why have you not done what I commanded?
No, this isn't good that you're not eating. This is wrong, but you're not going to eat at all.
The Hebrew women are not like the Egyptian women or Mitzrayim women. They give birth before we arrive. Yahuah is kind to the midwives, and they have families of their own. I'll tell you that every boy who is born is to be thrown into the Nile River, but every girl shall live. The cruel order is carried out. Hebrew mothers and fathers risk their lives to protect their sons, but the king's men never give up on their search. Night after night, Abram, a Hebrew from the tribe of Levi, hurries home from work, afraid that the soldiers have visited his home. O Yahuah, help us keep our new baby boy safe from the Mitzrayim, or the Egyptians. Or the Mizrahites, I mean. There's Miriam. The soldiers must not have come. Quickly, Abram enters the house and bolts the door. Surely Yahuah is with us. Our baby is 3 months old, and still Pharaoh's soldiers have not found him. Yahuah will help me find a way to save our son.
I really am lost what to do with that. She won't eat even then. She's not eating lunch. This is not good though, man. Yeah,
The next day, Jochebed prepares a little basket. Keep watch, Miriam. I'm almost finished. Then, carefully avoiding the Egyptian soldiers, she takes the basket and her tiny son to the river. His basket will float like a little boat. Keep watch over him, Miriam. Oh, my son, it tears my heart to send you away. May Yahuah watch over you and protect you. Miriam hides in the bulrushes and watches. The princess will see. Will she see the baby's basket?
Good girl, yeah. Good girl.
Look, what a strange little basket. I wonder what's inside it.
It's hot.
The maid brings the basket to the princess, who opens it. A Hebrew baby. Listen to him cry. We have to find someone to feed and care for him. Just then, Miriam steps out of the bushes. Shall I find a Hebrew nurse for the baby? Yes, bring one to me as soon as you can. Mother, come right away. The princess has found our baby, and she wants a Hebrew nurse to take care of him. Yahuah has answered my prayer, Miriam. My son will be safe with the princess. At the river's edge, take this baby and care for him. If anyone questions you, send word to me at once. I'm naming him Moshe because I pulled him out of the water. Prince on the Run, based on Exodus 2. So the Hebrew baby is returned to his own home, but now under the protection of the king's daughter. That night, Abram and Jochebed gather Moshe with his sister Miriam and brother Aaron. They kneel and pray. O Yahuah, we thank you for saving our little son. Help us to train him to serve you. Young Moshe lives in his home until he is about 4 years old. Then his mother takes him to the palace to live with the princess, who adopts him. Years pass, and the boy Moshe lives the life of a young prince in Pharaoh's palace. One day he drives through the city to a place where Hebrew slaves are working. As he watches the slaves toil, he is startled by a man's scream. Moshe jumps from his chariot to investigate and finds an Egyptian or Mitzrayite guard beating a Hebrew slave. A sudden anger, Moshe strikes out hard. Look, he killed the guard.
Good girl. Good girl. Good girl eating. Good girl. Here. Just eat that one. That one's nice.
The next day, Moshe returns. When he sees 2 Hebrews fighting, he tries to stop them. Don't fight each other, idiots. Who made you the judge over us? Are you going to kill me the way you killed that Egyptian? People know I have killed a man. There's only one thing I can do, and I have to do it now. Later that day in the palace, Prince Moshe killed an Egyptian guard for beating a Hebrew slave. Find the traitor and kill him, the Pharaoh decreed. But Pharaoh's orders come too late. Moshe has a head start on the soldiers who chase him. He escapes, and after a long, hard ride, he reaches the land of Midian. He went from Egypt here to Midian on the map. Moshe flees to Midian. Tired after his flight from Pharaoh, Moshe rests by a well. Get away from here until we water our sheep. No, we were here first. You leave us alone. I think you should let the women go first. After all, that's the civilized thing to do. The cowardly shepherds retreat, and Moshe helps the women water their flocks. When the women return to their camp, one of them tells her father what happened at the well. A man saved you and you came straight home? Why didn't any of you ask him to dinner? I am Zipporah. My father, Jethro, invites you to eat with us. Moshe accepts the invitation, and that night after supper, I need a shepherd, a good man I can trust. Why don't you stay with us? Thank you.
Let's go, please. Whoa.
This will be a good place to hide from Pharaoh.
I'm trying to feed the. Don't do that. She'll get scared. Come on, she'll stop eating. She didn't eat this morning. It was making me a little nervous.
Next story time, I'll be reading A Burning Bush, Spokesman for Yahuah, The Plagues, and the final plague. I hope you all enjoyed the story. Baruch haba Bashem Yahuah. I love you all. Shalom and blessing, children of Yahuah and the truth.